Hari Om. Very happy to meet you all in our next part of Learn English in Simple Ways, a few suggestions. Before we start, I would like to wish all of you, my sisters, a very happy Mother's Day. Of course, there is no day fixed for us, and every day is our day. Tomorrow also happens to be Narasimha Jayanti, a fabulous combination of Lord Narasimha and the mother. Both are ferocious and very loyal. They see to it that they protect their family and their children, and they also immediately, just like Narasimha, arrive at the place when the children call them for help. So, continuing our talk on making English simple for children, what are the ways we can facilitate for them? Yes, the first and foremost, I was telling you about interacting with them, playing games and introducing books. Books is a very important part, and books are the ones which can take you to places without moving your feet. Please introduce them to various kinds of books. Of course, if you're starting, you have to start with simple stories, moral stories. Moral science periods are no more there in many of the schools. So please teach them morals and values, which are very, very important. When a child learns values and morals through simple stories, they can immediately understand what we are trying to tell them. Instead of telling them, don't be greedy, don't steal from others, don't, count the eggs before they hatch, everything has got a story. So you please illustrate them with stories so they can understand. If you go to mythological stories also, there are wonderful varied stories telling about the human relationships, the way we have to be loyal, honest and behave with integrity. There are so many. Please introduce them to our great epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Please listen to all the shlokas, at least simple shlokas. I teach my children of Achieve Acadwmy simple shlokas of various gods, and I've also introduced them to the Guru Stotram. It is essential children learn the shlokas of all the gods and also know the importance of what they are learning. Coming to books, the first and foremost is to become a member of a library, because suddenly when you go to a bookstore or if you go to a book exhibition, you may not know what to buy. So the first and foremost, a safe bet will be to become members of a library, and the whole family can take up books. You can share your stories to the children, and children also can share. Of course, adults will have a different taste, I do understand, but you can, put it in a simple term to children so that they can understand. I think that I need not teach you how to put it in simple terms. You yourself will know as parents, because in many situations or in many cases, for their queries or for their understanding, you would have worded it very simply. சிம்பிளாக சொல்லியிருப்பீங்க இல்லையா நிறையா விஷயத்தை. அவங்களுக்கு புரியணுன்னா என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? அவங்களுக்கு புரிகிற ஒரு பாஷையில், அவங்களுக்கு புரிகிற ஒரு வேர்ட்ஸில் தான் நீங்கள் அதை எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுவீங்க இல்லையா? அதே மாதிரி தான். Correct? You don't complicate matters to them. Similarly, please read books. This is one. Also, try to ask, if you are reading together, also try to ask them what did they understand from it. This helps them to read their lessons also tomorrow, because when you read a paragraph of geography or English or science, whatever it is, you go by paragraph, you ask them questions on how much did they understand and how much did they follow. At least up to 3rd standard or something, please keep a close watch on how they are studying. Once the habits are inculcated, once the rules are laid, once you know once they know how to deal with their lessons and how to study, your role becomes just a role of a supervisor. That's all. It is difficult to build values and proper way of doing things. That is what is difficult. Once you've started it very early, it becomes very easy. But if you are being a parent who thought my child is too small to know all this and I can do it later, or due to some other reason, interference of something or interference of some people, you are not able to do much, please don't lose heart. You can start even now. But when you're starting a little later, initially the child will have a tough with the parent. So they don't want to follow certain things, they don't want to do certain things. But I think it is up to us to see to that we put them under a proper tutor. Like in Achieve Acadwmy, we not only build English language and skills, we teach them shlokas, we teach them bhajans, we see to it that they interact with personalities, we see to that a proper behavioral pattern is built in children. But it is possible only when you have cooperative parents. The children will always tell you, I don't want to go here because they're telling me to read books, or I don't want to do this because the teacher is particular about certain things. It is the parent who is always strict and knows what they are doing and how they want their child to be brought up. So it is the parent always who plays a role right from the birth of the child till the child stands on its own. It is the mother especially. Sometimes it is both the father and the mother. So please be careful. If you are starting little late, they may show their protest in different ways. But it is up to you to stand. Once you come to the teenage, even the children who are very, very cooperative, right at 7 or 8, may turn to be different. Because I am seeing the difference in their psychology when they joined with me in the age of 6 or 7, and now when they are 12 or 13, it is different. But as far as I am concerned, I always give them a long rope. My only main expectation from them is proper communication. Similarly, you also should see to it as parents or as a mother to have a proper communication with your child. It is very, very essential as they grow in their age to have a proper communication. Please sit with them and talk. Don't keep buying them only their favorite food items or cooking them special items. That is all there. But I cannot say that is the important. The important I feel is the communication. When we are talking about books, we can also talk about when the child finds it very difficult when the child is 9 or 10. We introduce something called comprehensions, which is there in almost all the exams, competitive exams. So how much the child is able to comprehend, understand. Comprehending means understanding whatever they are reading. So we introduce the children to comprehensions. Similarly, if the parent is trying to do on their own during the holiday time, the parents can check up from a Google or from a storybook or from a newspaper or from any autobiographies or from anything, even in a magazine or something. They can choose 1 or 2 paragraphs, see to it that is of not a very, very difficult level, depending upon their child's level of communication and standard of English, and then tell them to read. So once the child reads, you can automatically ask some questions and also tell them 2-3 meanings of certain words which they wouldn't have been able to follow. Also, please don't hesitate to introduce to them about dictionaries. When I was very young, and if I go to my mother and ask her, Ma, what is the meaning of this? She will immediately say, don't you have a dictionary at home? So my father had a habit of buying the Reader Digest dictionary, which was really huge. But she was the one who was very strict to make us go to the dictionary and see to it, find out the meaning and then do. Not that my father didn't know the meaning or my mother didn't know the meaning, but she taught me patience and she taught me how to be curious and also learn the method of seeing the dictionary. So I should say thanks to her, my foremost teacher. And on the Mother's Day, on the eve of the Mother's Day, yes, we all have to thank our parents for what we are today. The most important factor, of course, I feel is always the mother. So thanks to all the mothers. Thank to you, Amma. So let's continue with more simpler methods and also about dealing with teenage children according to their psychological needs. Let's see about it in our next part. Happy Mother's Day once again, sisters. Bye.